Okay, so the example 3 on this particular illustration, we have the balance sheet of X Limited and its subsidiary Y as at first, it should either be 1st January 2013 or 31st December 2012. So correct the question I've sent to you. So you have the balance sheet over there. You have investment in Y Limited. You have tangible fixed assets. You have net current assets. You have your stated capital. Then you have your additional information. Now, in the additional information, they said X acquired 18,000 shares in Y on 31st January, 31st December 2012. So this is what is supposed to be 1st January 2013. So it should be 1st January 2013. So he acquired 18,000 shares in Y on 1st January 2013 for 3,200 when the income surplus was this. Then the impairment test carried out showed that there has not been any loss in the value of goodwill. Prepare the consolidated balance sheet for X and its subsidiary as of 31st December 2013. Now, when you look at this particular illustration here, you can see that it is an upgrade on the illustration 1 and the illustration 2 that we did. For the illustration 1, you were given the exact percentage that the holding company bought from the subsidiary. The illustration 2, you were given the percentage holding or the percentage that the other company is buying from the other company. But in this illustration, you were not given the percentage of purchase or the percentage of acquisition. Are you getting it? That is the first thing you must take note of. Number 2, you were given an information on goodwill. Now, when you look at the example 2 that we also did, we were given information on goodwill. Look at the example 2 information on goodwill. They said that goodwill is treated on the basis of IFRS 3, or goodwill is treated in accordance with what? IFRS 3. Are you getting it? And I told you that in accordance with IFRS 3 or IFRS 3, when we are talking about goodwill, we are talking about 3 things. It's either we maintain the goodwill or we write it off in the goodwill. We carried out an impairment test, we write off the amortized, and then we maintain the unamortized goodwill on the balance sheet. All things being equal, if they want you to write it off, they will tell you. If they've carried out an impairment test, they will tell you. If they have not tell you anything of that sort and it is silent, then we needed to maintain goodwill. And so therefore we have maintained goodwill in this particular illustration. Are you getting it? Now, this illustration, they said they have carried out impairment tests. But when they carried out the impairment test, goodwill has not suffered any loss. So it means that we are maintaining the goodwill. Are you getting it? So in a nutshell, the way we treated the good rule in the example 2 is going to be the same way we are going to treat the good rule in example 3. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Now, let's move on. There is another thing that is said here, which is another difference from what we did in illustration 2. They said he acquired a number of shares, but they did not tell us the total number of shares that was there before he acquired 18,000 from it. Are you getting it? This is another opener. So we must know the number of shares that is there before he's acquiring 18,000 shares from it. You get it? Now, in an attempt to solve the question, the very first thing you should take note of, or the very first thing you should know, is the percentage we are buying, and it has not been given. So we solve for the percentage we are buying. Are you getting it? So let's go straight to our solution. So we're being told that I think I don't have that particular solution here. Illustration 2. Okay. This is it's illustration 4. So let's do that of the illustration 3. So let's tackle that of the illustration 3 right now. Now we wanted to find the percentage holding. When you go to the question is saying that for every 1 share here, it costs 1 cedi. I get it. So if Y total shares is 20,000 and this guy is buying 18,000, then let's solve for it. So if this guy bought 18,000 shares out of the 20,000 shares, then how much are we going to get? So he bought 18,000 shares. Masi. Paki mama baye. Inga no kunicha loko da chani. So we said 18,000 shares divided by the 20,000 shares multiplied by 100. Okay, I think it is even here. So let me maintain this one. Let me just maintain this one. So now he bought 18,000 shares. And this guy is having okay, I think now look at it. We're told that every share costs 20,000. Okay. Look here. They say every share is 1 cedi and the total cost is 20,000. So we are going to find the total number of shares that make up in 20,000. I getting it? So if one share is equal to 1 cedi, how many shares to be equal to here? 20,000 over here. So the 20,000 divided by 1, multiplied by 1, will give us 20,000 shares. So at the end of the day, we know that X Limited is having total number of shares of 20,000. So the total number of shares X is having is 20,000. So at the end of the day, if you buy all the 20,000 shares, you are entitled to 100% holding over here. If you buy all the 20,000 shares,
Okay, yes.
you'll be entitled to 100% holding. But we were told that, so look at it, when you buy all the 20,000 shares, you were entitled to 100% holding here. But X bought how many shares? 18,000. So X bought only 18,000 shares. So therefore, it's going to be 18,000 shares over the 20,000 times 100 will give us how much? It will give us 90%. So therefore, X limited will be entitled to 90%. So we say X limited is having 90%. Minority will be having 10%. So this is the first thing we have to do, or this is the first part.
Okay.
Now let's look at the second thing. The second thing for us to do is to prepare our cost of control account. So we are going to prepare our cost of control account. Now, in our cost of control account, let's go to the question. In the question, the investment in Y Limited is 32,000. The investment in Y Limited is 32,000. Have you seen the question? And
yeah, I haven't looked at it.
The stated capital is 20,000 by the 90%, which will give us 18,000. Now, when you look at the question, there was a pre-acquisition surplus of 10,000, and this guy is purchasing 90% of that. So 90% of the 10,000 should give us 9,000. So at the end of the day, goodwill is going to be 5,000. So this is the first account. Or this is the first account. Now, for the second account, which is called consolidated income source. Now, when you look at the question, the balance brought forward for Y limit